How's it going, everybody? So today we're going to be taking a look at mid control on CS2 Ancient. We'll start out simple with the basics and then move on into higher level team play and how professional players like to approach this area of the map. Before we dive in, I want to thank today's sponsor, SkinsMonkey. So, SkinsMonkey is an automated CS2 trading site that provides an instant way for you to get new skins. All you have to do is select your old skins that you don't want anymore and then pick out some fresh ones to trade for. It's as easy as that. And right now you could get a free $5 if you use code TACTICS on the site. And finally, you could get up to a 35% deposit bonus when using my code. So thanks again to SkinsMonkey for sponsoring this video. Links in the description. So let's get started with the absolute basics from the CT perspective. For this setup, you're going to want an elbow smoke, a Molotov landing in front of it, and an HE for good measure. So here's an example from earlier this week at the EWC where Hunter on G2 is going to throw exactly that. As you can see, he mollies off elbow, throws an HE in there, and then decides to flash and peek anyone hanging on the edge of the smoke. So now let's talk about how to throw the molly and HE consistently. If you'll notice, even Hunter left a sizable gap that a rushing T could have ran right through. With the new incendiary spread, I believe Wraith's latest utility set for mid is ideal. So the fastest and most consistent way to get all of this utility off is right as you're coming up these steps. You're going to end up looking at this far right brick and just going all the way to the top of the wall and doing a nice run, throw, and release right as you hit this middle portion of the step. So it's just going to look something like this. And that molly is going to land out in the middle here, and typically it's going to spread all the way from the far left to the far right, not allowing anyone to push through here without taking at least some damage. Of course, right after you throw your molly, you're just going to throw an HE right here at this plant to where it's going to land out here in this region. Notice that this is kind of a natural position for T's to go sit in. So when you throw a grenade, it's going to land right in their face. So again, all together on the fly, that should look something like this. Of course, to complete the set, someone needs to throw the instant elbow smoke. To learn and practice these like you're seeing on screen, check out the workshop map link in the description. You can do this by yourself, but it's going to cost you some valuable time. As you can see from the latest example we just watched, Monacy was the one throwing the instant mid smoke. So moving on to the T side of things, it's pretty standard to smoke red room, flash over mid, and then molly out cubby. If the CTs are mollying bottom mid, you can smoke it off and push through with some flashes. Here's an example a few rounds later in the G2 versus Mongolz matchup, where the Mongols try to challenge G2's mid control in exactly this way. You can see Xeno throwing the instant red smoke and then moving into position to flash his teammates out mid. Techno and Blitz end up smoking off that early Molotov and pushing through with the flashes, but unfortunately for them, G2 responded well to that early aggression. Hunter ended up throwing a self-flash to re-peek after that smoke went down, and Monacy perfectly timed out a smoke break to destroy them as they pushed through. Since brute forcing it through mid wasn't working out for them, they started pressuring from heaven more often. But to disrupt all of this, G2 started throwing an instant B door smoke, followed with a couple of Molotovs to make them very uncomfortable when trying to take that space. So once again, the Mongols were forced to adapt. They started throwing a top ramp smoke to counter out that early door smoke, allowing them to focus more heavily towards heaven without the threat of CT aggression. In the meantime, the mid players were waiting inside the smoke until the Molotov was over. That way they could wait for Techno to flash them from behind the flames through the smoke and peek mid together at their own pace. And this worked out pretty well. Most of the rounds they tried it, there was no one even in mid by that point. I liked this play so much that I had to implement it into my own team's mid default. In this example, I have one of my players disrespect the door smoke, countering with a ramp molly. He then gets ready to flash us out mid, and once he throws it, we swing together and obliterate the guy that's completely reading Braille outside of cubby. Here's another example later on in the match where we do the exact same thing, catching two players boosting and shredding them before they have any chance to react whatsoever. So now let's break down all the utility you're going to need to take mid like this. It's actually very simple. The first thing we recommend doing is smoking off red. And whether you know the instant smoke lineups or you just go right here along the side of this rock and just aim above the triangle and do a simple jump throw, whichever one you know is completely fine since you're not immediately pushing through their utility. It doesn't matter as far as the speed of the smoke. When it comes to the player throwing the flash for the mid play, you want to make sure that they're going to be running up through the smoke if it's there, and either throwing a Molotov or a smoke into this position, denying any sort of early CT aggression. Once they're ready to flash, it's actually very easy. You don't need a specific lineup. You just want the flash to land very close to this wall. So just a nice little run throw like this is perfectly fine. And the reason that that's good is because it's going to land on the right side of this wall right here, not blinding your teammates as they're pushing out. but it's going to destroy anyone holding an angle like this without much time to react. Now, if you have smoked this off instead and still have your molly available, it may be a good idea to just bank it off the right side of this big door here so that you completely eliminate the possibility of the CTs jumping up onto this box and peeking you. So yeah, guys, those are all of the ways that I've been seeing professional teams taking and holding on to mid control on Ancient. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a like, comment, or maybe even consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next one.